This is National Chess Master Rats at chess.com to continue my video series on the team match of correspondence team match between my video lessons group and the team from CARPE DIEM. This is played down on board 132. We have about a 1700 versus high 1500 rating advantage. Our man is Cobradad, and let's see what happens. Now, I think d5 is actually better than what black does, but what black does is totally fine. Just if you're a French player, you're usually going to get a good game with d5. But playing a Sicilian is perfectly acceptable too. But anyway, white chooses to play a closed Sicilian type system here, and black just goes ahead and develops. And this is good to get an early d5 in. And now we're kind of French style. We've got the advanced pawn, except this isn't on d4. Black just develops his pieces. So does white. And there's going to come a critical point here where white just goes wrong. And here it starts, a3. And I've talked so many times in these videos about these people moving these rook pawns. I mean, it's just a terrible move. Okay, I'm gonna keep saying it. These moves are bad. Black is not planning to put anything on b5. Nothing. Okay, and even if he does, he's not going anywhere. So you're wasting a tempo when you could be developing. And black just keeps playing logically, undermines the advanced pawn to get some scope for his pieces. And he doesn't have to worry about the weakness he's created on e6 or the fact that white has occupation of this square. Black is getting his pieces out. This is all fine for black. The game's about even still, but white's down one tempo, and look what happens. Black returns the favor. Okay, now, I've talked, you can look, again, I mentioned on the last video, you can look in the news post where I'm updating all the results. I've made several videos where people are running these rook pawns up, and I've gone into longer rants. These moves are just terrible. They don't help your position. Well, they can if your opponent doesn't get his pieces developed, then they become strengths, but for the most part, these are just bad. White's not planning to put anything on b5. What, you put a knight there and put it on c7? Here, watch. Let him. Go ahead, let him. Let him play there. You want now? Go ahead and kick it. You can just go back, okay? Because if he goes forward, I think he runs into some trouble here. How are you going to save the knight? The answer is you're not. You're going to lose two pieces for the rook. So, develop pieces. Don't push these rook pawns. These are bad moves, okay? I don't know how else to impress you guys, except I'm going to be critical of them. Every now and then they come in handy. I've done them too, but I don't do them that often. There's a reason why you do these. Now let me make one more comparison about what I was saying. Okay, was knight b5? Oops, let's put the knight back on c3. Okay, let's suppose this had happened. Okay, let's just suppose this had happened. Basically, what white has done, and I've talked about this in some other videos. Hopefully I can get this right. I have to look at the PGN to find how to do this exactly. Okay. Let's see, bishop d7. Let's see, is this the right position? I think so, yeah. Okay, look at how the black position has changed. Now let's find the other position. Here we go. The white position doesn't change at all. The black position changes slightly. Here it's black's move. Here it's white's move. In effect, here's the advantage of playing bishop d7. If black plays knight b5, what white is saying is, I'll tell you what, I don't want to move here, even though it's my move. I don't want to move here, so I'm going to make you a deal. Black, here's the deal. I'm going to give you two moves in a row as long as the first one is a6. And if you're black, you say, hey, that sounds like a great deal. So there's black's playing his first move. Now it's black's move again. He gets to move again. Now what's black going to play? I don't know. But this is what could have happened had you allowed what you were afraid of and not wasted a tempo with a6. You see the point? Okay, trying to help. a6, he doesn't have the option to play knight b5. You want him to play knight b5. Okay? You want him to. Don't prevent it. I mean, maybe you're trying to get b5 in yourself. Fine, that's fine. I understand that. But develop first. Okay? Give your opponent a chance to mess up, because they do. Okay, let's go for it. Now, obviously, white does. Now he can't play knight b5, so he's going to try and transfer the knight to the king side by way of d1. But coming up, now comes b5. Okay, great. But you don't have this bishop developed. Okay, you could have had it developed and then been playing this. But your idea worked, because white immediately blunders here. White gives up control of e4, and I've talked about it before. When you move a pawn, don't only look at what it can do, but look what it can't do. And that pawn can no longer cover e4. And black just starts picking up a clear advantage here, and the game is relatively over in just a few moves. And now white tries the strategy of taking back with the f-pawn, hoping to get activity on the f-file, but it's black that's going to get the activity, as we will see. Suddenly black has built up this very powerful pawn center as a clear pawn ahead. And with white having a double pawn on the king side, in effect black is almost 2 pawns ahead, even though one is doubled. So black has a clear advantage right now, and opening up the f-file actually can help black here, not white. It does clear the f2 square for his knight to get to, but maybe that was his idea. But these pawns are just becoming too strong. If you can get your center pawns up to these two squares right out of the opening of the early middle game, you're going to win quickly. And now it's just a matter of how does white want to, or black want to win. He chooses to win a pawn, but I think more clever was bishop b4. Excuse me. And then the queen's got to run somewhere. Let's put her on e1. And now we go make a pin. Okay? And now we've tied this knight down, and white needs to break it. Now he's just, getting all bottled up here. Gosh, can we play g4 now, or g5 now? Doesn't that win something? It might. Where's white put the knight? The answer is he doesn't. Okay, so white would have been in a serious pickle. But you can't fault black for just picking up the winning the simple pawn. So he took on h4, and now he's definitely 7 pawns to 5. He's definitely clear 2 pawns up, and really there's not much going on anymore. Really to comment on. Logic says connect the rooks, develop the bishop. That's what he does. Offers more exchanges. Perfectly logical. Look at this knight back here in the corner. That's really active. It controls 2 squares. Okay. Black is crushing. He's got those center pawns, and he's got a beautiful centralized knight, and attacks and defends at the same time. Attacks on c2, defends the pawn from capture. And, well, it doesn't really attacking c2. I guess white has queen d5. But the pawns are advancing. They're becoming more strong. And now the knight sinks itself in. Great square for a knight. Trades off. And queen f4. Threatening to penetrate. Now here black opts to offer a queen trade. But if you want to trade queens, you can just do it right now. Queen f2 check. So I don't know how quick black played here. But, I mean, this is clearly winning for black. He's just up 2 clear pawns. Rook on the 7th. Menacing this pawn. A couple of advanced pawns. But the way he plays it, he ends up actually winning another pawn. So can we fault it? When you have queens on the board, why trade them off if you don't have to? But here, it'd probably be best for white to trade and then cover f2 with his rook, but then the rooks come off and you're still losing and b2 falls. So black's got a lot of luxuries here. And now he picks up the b2 pawn, temples a rook, and gets another pawn. Wow. And really, the game doesn't really need much more comment. Now the queens come off. And I don't know why White resigned. I can only assume that they were both online and exchanging moves, and chances are that's probably how a lot of this game went. I see it so many times. People complete a game in 12 hours after a match starts, get 40 moves in. You're not learning anything about chess. And I guess if you want to play this way, fine, but you're not going to learn anything about chess. And you may not help your team. Obviously, White didn't help his team. And Black's just up 4 clear pawns, and he ends up bungling one back, but it doesn't matter. Black can beat Magnus Carlsen in this position. There it goes. Oh, we lost a pawn. Big deal. We got too many of them. And Black can just win any way he wants. And there goes the other pawn. And now something's going to queen. White can't stop Black from queening, so he resigned. Now let's bring up the other game and see. It's always interesting to see where it will start the game. Sometimes, it's supposed to start on my move 1, and it just picks some other position up. See, look at that. Why does it pick move 11? You got me. Okay. I saw this opening an earlier video. I don't remember which one. Philidor Defense. Famous book. Alyakin wrote 2 books on his best games. Then a third one was published posthumously by CHOD Alexander. But Alyakin annotated his games. And the main line that Alyakin gives, I'll just make you familiar with the game. I don't know who his opponent was. The main line goes like this. Attacking the queen, pinning it, parting with a bishop pair, but to maintain a queen on the center. Then White just develops, Black develops. Pin, break the pin. White castles long, Black castles short. And this is as much as I remember about the game. Alyakin played h4 and then proceeded to launch a pawn storm and attack the Black king and won the game. Now, it doesn't mean that White has a forced win here. I don't recall, did Black weaken his pawn structure, making the attack easier? Like a bad move would be something like h6, because the bishop will just retreat and eventually g4 and g5 will come in. But if you have that book, it's one of the early games in the book, as I recall, and I haven't looked at it in over 40 years. Don't even own a copy of it anymore. It's a pain when you move. And I used to cart 40 cases of books around with me. It's too many. Anyway, what White plays is okay. I like the queen takes line. But this is fine too. White preserves the advantage of the first move. Usually White has 4 spaces in his 4 file or ranks in his territory. Black has 3. Just kind of drawing arrows. The territory of the board that they stake out with the 5th rank kind of being a no man's land in between. And neither side, we got it crossing the no man's land. Okay, now just f3, chase that bishop back. And this bishop becomes misplaced. And it's later going to be lost. And now White could just castle long and get ready for his pawn storm. So to some respect, we have a similar to the game I was showing of Alyakin's. The difference being White's kept his light squared bishop. Black has an extra knight. And Black hasn't even developed that extra knight. And White hasn't developed his extra bishop. So funny how it's still kind of similar to that. Now, this is a bad move. It attacks a knight, but it drives it where it wants to go. And it weakens the d6 square. Develop pieces, okay? You play c5 against a novice who doesn't realize you're attacking your knight. Then you go collect the knight, and then you go collect another knight. And pretty soon you're collecting a king. You don't, against a good player, you don't make moves that weaken your position. And now this knight just hops right into f5, beautiful square, all kinds of pressure, immediately threatening to win a pawn with knight takes, followed by queen takes d6. And White's position is so strong he doesn't even have to win a pawn. And Black's just kind of stuck, fumbling. He can't do anything about it. White can win that pawn at his leisure, but he doesn't care about it. And now he cares about it. And now Black should take with the knight because this just drops the exchange. And also, Black is going to lose a bishop. So suddenly, Black is going down a whole rook. And just like the other game, black continued to play on, so Henry taking back with that pawn, except he doesn't have a rook on the f-file. Maybe he just didn't like white playing queen h2 and menacing his king. Well, he could have taken with the knight and then played h6, but he didn't. And it's just mop-up time. There's really not much to this game anymore. You know, a little threat, knight b3. I think black makes a couple of threats before the game's over, but it doesn't matter. White misses a knockout, a couple of quick knockouts. I'll show you when we get there. But it really doesn't matter. White's going to beat Carlsen in this position. I said that about the other game. Well, it's true. He is. And black has a spy check and picks up a pawn. Big deal. White just grabs another pawn. White's a rook up. Hey, let's trade queens. No, I don't want to trade queens. Okay, then white's attack should get stronger. And here it comes. Let's bust you open. And now look at that wonderful pawn on the 7th rank. And if you take it, you're going to run into all kinds of trouble. The queen will run over to h3 and menace it. So right now black just needs to keep it there as let it act as one of his own pawns. And here, I think on this move, white missed a knockout. Let's see, what did he play? He played queen, but yeah. He had an interesting move here. Rook takes g7. Not an obvious move, but the threat is to play rook check and force black to lose his queen, okay, for the rook. And if you take, then you sacrifice your queen. Now he must take, and the queen is reborn, right? And this knight's a goner. So where are you gonna, if you put the king on g6, you can just take it right now, not to mention the fact he could play rook h6 check and pick off the queen. So king goes here, and we'll check here. Like I say, that knight's a goner, and it's close to a mate here. My goodness. And black doesn't even have. He has possibly one check, depending on where this queen ends up. But I doubt he's even going to have that check. So he missed a quick knockout. But that's what happens if you're playing blitz chess along with your opponent. But you try to win games precisely when you can. It's good practice. Try to train yourself to find the best move. You've got time. Go ahead and take it. You're going to win the game. If black logs off, he'll be back tomorrow. If he doesn't come back for 3 days, guess what? If he's a diamond member, he goes on vacation. But eventually his vacation runs out. And eventually you're going to win this game. You don't have to win it today. Okay? So he missed that. He played queen b4, threatening a mate, so it can't be that bad of a move. And actually, white has it again. It's kind of funny. White can do this again here. If the king takes, you're making an immediate queen, and if the rook takes, this is deadly. Look at that. Bang. What do we want to do? Put the rook here? Double checkmate. Bang, bingo, right? You want to take with the queen? Doesn't matter. Double checkmate. Well, make a rook this time, right? Isn't that checkmate? It's a double check. Sure is, mate. So the move was there twice. You missed it twice, but hey, it's okay. He played queen b4. He missed rook. Let's see, rook f7. Now let's find the right place here. White just took care of his king, got it to safety. No, stop playing that. Get the right move here. Okay, we're king c1. Just got his king to safety, so there's no chance of a perpetual check. And again, black should resign, but he plays on, and there's really not much point anymore. As I said, black was able to make another threat. He'll threaten a knight fork in a little bit after the queens come off. And now black decides to trade queens. White says fine. And now white's going to go after those queenside pawns. Well, not yet. Now he goes going to go after them. And as I said, black gets one more threat in. He's threatening knight f3 check. But that's, at least black's not, or white's not playing quick enough to where he'll make the position possibly even a theoretical loss with black having an outside pass pawn. White's being careful enough. But white's a rook up, and black has no hope here. So they just keep making moves, and watch that pawn run. Here it comes. Uh-oh. Got it blockaded. And here comes the king, but end of story. Now black has to retreat his king because if he moves his knight, he loses the pawn. And suddenly that pawn is ready to be a queen. And black resigned here. Can he try for a stalemate? Sometimes you can catch somebody napping. In order to try for stalemate, you're going to have to lose this knight. There's no way to check with it. We can hang it. Who knows? Maybe he'll take it. Now the king has to move. Let's go this way. Now you're just going to get mated. There's no hope for stalemate. Now white knows that this is mate next. Anyway, that's those two games. Congratulations to Cobradad. I think you played quick. This had 63 moves in it in 4 weeks. So you're definitely playing several moves in a day. But you handled it. You punished his mistakes. You missed some better wins, but that's okay. That's what's kind of fun about chess. You can sit and look at it, as I've done, and I'm finding this stuff just from experience. You analyze your games, you'll get the same experience I have. Okay. Anyway, thanks so much for watching, and got a lot more. I got about maybe 6 or 7 videos to catch up, and I'm sure by the time I get those done, there'll be more results coming in. But eventually, I want to get to where I can have them all caught up, and the results will be coming in slower in time, and maybe there'll only be 1 or 2 videos made in a week. And we're getting closer to even clinching this match. I mean, it's a 210 board match. I think we have 184.5 points, so we only need 26 more wins, and the match is ours. And what I've said, anybody that gets a 1-1 score, if we win the match, I'll make a video of your win. So then I can start on the people that have scored that, because there are some that have won 1 and lost 1, and you'll get a video too, which will add to the total. Out of 210 boards, I know we forfeited maybe 6 boards. We had a couple of timeouts, and we had 4 people banned, and they timed out. So, and I know we lost one match 2-0, and I think we had a couple of 1.5s against us. But we haven't lost that many matches at all. That's why the score is like something like 184.5 to 60.5. It's right there at a 3-1 advantage. We're going to end up scoring 300 points in this match, or close to it. But anyway, I'm having a lot of fun doing it. I hope you guys are watching all these, because you're going to learn a lot, I promise you. And take care. Thanks.